We've joined the Doctor as he travels the Vortex and arrive at TopCon 2016. I'm Keith.
I'm Sean.
I'm Glenn.
I'm Spencer.
Welcome, Spencer.
Thank you guys for coming to the panel.
Thanks for having me.
Well, of course, everybody knows who this man is. This is Spencer Wilding, and we're going to talk a little bit about Doctor Who. He has actually been in 3 stories in Doctor Who, correct?
Correct.
He played the creature, as it's billed, or the Minotaur, as it's more familiar, in the God Complex. He also played the Wooden King in Doctor Who, The Widow and the Wardrobe, and he was also Skaldak, the Ice Warrior, in Cold War.
In the submarine.
And so, before we get to those, let's do a little bit of setup. First of all, how did you get into acting?
Well, it all started when I seen a big bright light and I got my bum slapped. And so that's all it started, and I started acting from there, really. But no, how I got into acting, I was a professional sports person in the kickboxing ring, martial arts, and then I went into pro kickboxing, and then I went into pro boxing, and that's opened up the doorway. I become the Welsh and British European kickboxing champion, and I end up getting signed up with a sports agency that deal with actors in the sports world. So that's how it opened up for me. I was Harry Potter in my first film, so straight in. Straight in the deep end.
And how much acting had you done before you'd come to Doctor Who? How many things had you done, roughly?
Probably about 6 or 7 films. But I've done about maybe more, maybe 10, 12, 13 films. And then I got a phone call off Neil Gorton's special effects creature department, and they said, would you like to be on the show? And I said, well, would I? Yeah.
So you were a fan of the show before you were on it?
Yeah, I didn't watch. I was more of it when I was a child. Yeah, I was one of the kids that hid behind the cushion, you know. But it's really great. The monsters are just out of this world, literally, aren't they? So.
Do you remember who your first Doctor was when you were a kid?
Baker.
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker, yeah.
I think you were born, let's see, you're 44, correct? 45,
That's right.
44. You're actually a month younger than me, I think. You were born in July, 72?
26th of July.
There you go.
72.
21st of
I had a harder paper round than you, clearly. Uphill all the way, right?
So you grew up with, obviously, then Tom Baker would have been one of the Doctors, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy. Had you watched any of the new series when it came back?
No, not really, no. I just started watching them again when I got brought onto the show, which is, I just had so much going on. You know, I wasn't watching much telly, but then I started to get into him because I fell in love with Matt Smith. He was really cool with me, and he was really great with my children when they come over to set. So he got me.
And he was the Doctor in all 3 stories that you were in. What was Matt like?
Matt is his character. He's just awesome. He's so genuine and so nice and so grounded. He's just a beautiful guy, and he's got a great heart, and he's just awesome with children. What can I say? That's it.
So what's it like when you come onto the set of Doctor Who? Obviously, you're under prosthetics and just probably pounds and pounds of material. What's it like to be on that set and act in an episode of Doctor Who?
Oh, it's just awesome. When I first went to set and met the cast and the crew, I was like, wow. Inside my head, I'm like, wow, Doctor Who, that's pretty cool. And then when I got to when I become because my first role was the creature in the God Complex. So you've got to go over. It takes about 3 months to actually get to set from having your fittings done with the creature and the costume, and then the time you get on set, you're connected to your character. And it was awesome running around the corridors, chasing Matt chasing me, and and I died in his arms. What can you say?
Now, we just watched the God Complex last night. It seems like, you're in this a lot in this episode. Is that something did it feel like you were really there, or is it clever editing that just makes it seem like the monster is present for far more than it really is?
No, he's there a lot. Yeah, so obviously the magic they put into it as well with the editing, so it makes you in there even more. You feel his presence a lot more than you've seen him. And but yeah, it was it's a bit surreal, the first creature, but I've become the character. So in the beginning, when you're watching the program, you sort of everybody's the monster, he's going to get us. But then you learn to take him on his journey, right? He's just living on his instincts, killing people. If you had faith, I'd leave you on the floor with a smile. But towards the end, you sort of like him a little bit. Then you sort of love him at the end, and you realise he just wanted to die, because he's been doing this for thousands of years. So when Doctor Who sussed me out, you know, we both, I was looking up at him like I was in your lap like that, you know, and he started crying. I died. And I looked through the mask, and I was like, well, you killed me. Why are you crying? So, yeah, it was great. It was awesome. And, you know, to work with Matt as well. This first Doctor Who, first Doctor I ever worked with. So, first and last. So.
Was the costume hard to walk in? It looked like those hooves looked like they maybe balanced a little bit. Was that a challenge, or was it?
No, it's just good acting. No, what I had to do, because he walked like he had high heels on, right? So I had to condition my ankles to stretch the ligaments and stuff like that, because that's what the character did. That's how he ran, and because he was old, he was a bit clumsy as well. He was bouncing off the walls and stuff like that, because he was thousands of years old. He was just, like you say, he was just looking for people with faith, and I could feel it, and that was my spaceship constructed into a corridor of a hotel. So, yeah, the suit was, he worked well for the character. You know, and it was very comfortable. It was no makeup involved. It was we had a hero head and we had a stunt head. So when I was going in quite hard to the walls and stuff like that, it wasn't heavily involved with the animatronics. So we don't want to damage the animatronics. So
How long does it take to get into a costume like that? Does it take as long as like makeup?
It was no, makeups are a lot longer, because the suit was like putting your clothes on basically. So you were in it within 20 minutes, half an hour, and then the head was put on in minutes, and then they just a little adjustment here and there, you know. So it was very quick, you know. Some of the makers have done like 5 or 6 hours long. Some of the other costumes. On the Skaldak, he had these like lizard teeth, so the only makeup I had there was around my mouth, but that still took like an hour and a half, and then they put the mask on top, and the eyes moved. That's about it.
Of course, there's not as much time involved in that one because at least half of the scenes are CGI when the creature comes out of the uniform as Skaldak. But how much time on the set are you involved in when you're lumbering around in that armor at that point?
Yeah, I was in it a lot. Yeah, as you see, because whenever you see the submarine, again, the story from, you know the stories of the Cold War? So, you know, when I'm the most honourable warrior from planet Mars, I was in a fight with my daughter. We're both doing really well. We've taken out these other aliens, and then all of a sudden there was a big flash bang, and then I was in a frozen block of ice in a submarine. I was very honourable, and then I realised, you know, what's going on here? I'm in a nuclear submarine. So I just started going crazy. I just wanted to look for that red button and just press it. I didn't like humans. What sort of race is this? You know, it's not honourable. You know, so it's one of them. So it was quite emotional. He was an emotional character. He was just all the time. He was just in a mood. You know, he just wanted to get out this ship. You know, call his friends, get my people down here, and get me out of here.
So now, after the creature in the Minotaur was kind of your first monster, correct?
Correct.
When it was over, when the job was done, did you kind of think to yourself, that was a laugh, and I can go back to, you know, real acting now? Or were you like, man, I hope they call me back because I'm so ready to do this again?
Yeah, well, you know, normally everything happens in threes, you know. It happens in threes for me. But when I left the character, it's like any other character I play. I become friends with the character because it's not me. It's the presence of a Minotaur from a different galaxy, you know. So I put him in my memory bank, and I could just go and visit him now and again whenever I want. Like all my other characters, it's great. Bit weird, but it never gets lonely in my mind.
Let's talk a little bit about the Wooden King, which obviously was the second time in Doctor the Widow and the Wardrobe. Did they call you back based on your performance in the God Complex, or did they just have you in a card file and they say, well, just bring Spencer in? Yeah,
well, you know, if they want a big guy, I'm normally on their to-do top list. You know what I mean? So
you're 6'7"? Is that correct?
6'7". Yeah, so quite tall. But normally they'll build me even higher. So I'm quite good on stilts as well. But I know that Neil Gorton's team, because we've done on other projects as well before Doctor Who, so they know who I am, and they know I'll bring it, because you know, when you get all the makeup put on you, or the costumes, and you really take all your elements off you, and then you've got to become the character and become real. It's a difficult thing for actors to do. You know what I mean? Because how do you turn latex into real pumping flesh with veins and stuff, and really throw that energy out there? Just, you can either do it or you can't. So I've been lucky, I can do it, so they bring you back for more. I just keep on smashing it from
How hard is it to kind of emote the character through that? Because when you're trying to act through latex, I imagine you have to put a lot more into the performance.
Yeah, it's like being on stage, and you got to, less is more normally with filming, but with them costumes, if you stay still, you're just a guy in a suit. You know what I mean? So you've got to really bring it and really exaggerate some things sometimes. But luckily, my characters do exaggerate a lot anyway. There's a lot of big movements going on, and all sorts of funny sounds coming out of me. I'm thinking, what are you doing? but this is what the character does. He just makes all these funny sounds and makes some different movements. Because normally I don't, because there's a lady called Ailsa Burke who does all the movements and stuff. But me and Ailsa met on our first job, which was Harry Potter and the werewolf, playing that character. And so she knows what I'm about. She knows I can connect to my characters, and she normally lets me get on with my movements, and I just take direction from the director, just in case I'm doing something that doesn't work for them, and we just adjust.
Was it a bit harder with the Wooden King because he doesn't quite move as much?
Yeah, well, probably one of the hardest parts of acting is staying still, I want to be a tree. And literally, he was very still, and there were big dialogue scenes. So when I'm staying still, this suit was very thick latex. It looks very wooden, but you could move around it, but the heat that it generated was hot. So you could actually see my heartbeat going. It was moving the costume, so they come up a little bit. And but staying still for 5 minutes, I sort of shut down and go to sleep, and I'm like, oh. But if you twitch, spin, man, we've got to go again. You know what I mean? But luckily I didn't twitch too much. But it's quite relaxing. But like you say, when you're staying still, you do shut down after a while, and you forget. You're not sleeping here. You're on a film set playing a character, so you got to be on the ball.
I imagine there's a lot of waiting around too in between scenes while you're having to stay still that entire time too.
Yeah. Yes, but if you can't do that, it's a waste of time living the dream in a film world, because there's a lot of waiting around sometimes. They've got to set up different setups, this, that, and the other. So yeah, it's great. I love it. Living the dream.
We hear a lot of production stories coming out of the Doctor Who universe about kind of the breakneck speed that the show is filmed at, and just you got to keep moving from one set to the next, from one angle to the next, from one show to the next. How was your experience on that versus, say, something like Guardians of the Galaxy, where you've got a little more playtime, as it were?
It's all about the budget as well, really. If they're on a tight budget, the BBC and stuff like that, they haven't got the money that Universal has got or Marvel has got. So they'll bring in actors that can. We normally get it 1 or 2 takes and moving on, and then just you can go into reverse and all that stuff and go in closer. You can just so they need to bring in actors that can bang it out quick, but there's not much overtime goes on. So you've got to get it in them hours, what you're doing it. So it is a tight schedule. We just get on it. We're all under it. We're all feeling it, and we just do it.
Speaking of the Wooden King, it's kind of another character where it starts out being kind of the adversary or the monster, and ends up being kind of the you have some sympathy for him. They're just trying to get off the planet before, and their subjects off the planet as well. So that's now the second time that you've got to play the heavy monster that ends up having some of the sympathetic character there at the end as well. Just occurred to me.
Yeah, feelings. Connecting to the audience, connecting to your other actors, and I had a whole forest living in my head. You know what I mean? How'd you act that? That's a bit weird, but yeah, I was doing it. So it gave me a bit of a headache now and again, having a whole forest in my head. But it was an awesome character to play, and it was on Christmas Day special. So for me, there's not much people watching TV on Christmas Day in the UK. So but everybody's watching Doctor Who. So it was quite. You're in people's front room on Christmas Day while they're eating a turkey, and I think, that's lovely. I wanted to pop my head out the TV and go hi. It wasn't possible because it was filmed a few months before.
Is there still a surreal kind of surrealness to that you're part of a legacy, that it's not just a job, it's Doctor Who. It's something that people are watching on Christmas Day, and they're going to go out and buy the Blu-ray sets and revisit time and time and time again. Does it ever hit you funny and you just kind of have to sit back and go, wow?
I feel very blessed. You know what I mean? And I'm allowed to live. I must have been doing something right in my last lifetime, because I'm living 2 dreams in one life, and it's just, I feel it's very special. You know what I mean? To be part of such an awesome show that's been going for over 50 years. And, you know, it's awesome, man. Sometimes you do pinch yourself, sometimes. Am I waking up from this? Is this a dream, or...?
On that note, if you're asked to go back to Doctor Who, I'm sure you would do it in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
Now let's say any aspirations of perhaps maybe playing the Doctor. I don't think we've ever had a 6/7 Doctor before. That'd be something kind of different.
No, I'm all for the monsters. I love playing the monsters and the aliens. You know, no. If they asked me to play the Doctor, I'd say I'd prefer to play the monsters. You know.
How about a companion? What if we had a monster as companion?
She'd be a monster as well. You know.
Well,
Mrs.
you
Monster.
could have a male companion. Maybe a female companion that's maybe human or humanoid, and a monster. You could play the monster companion.
I'd bring on Karen Gillian again. You know what I mean? There you go. Yeah.
Is there anything?
She had a thing for the creature, because she said, right, when I'm running, "God, he's gorgeous." I was like, "Yeah, baby, I'm coming for you." Oh yeah, just hold on to that faith.
Is there anything on the wish list that, you know, do you have, like, man, I wish I could come back and play I don't think we can fit you in a Dalek outfit, but...
You know, whatever they ask me to play, it's just magic what they do with these things. So it's just an honour to play. To these guys, all the sculptors and everybody to do with making that suit, they are very special people and very special skills. And it's nice for me to be allowed to climb into their machine and switch it on and move it about. So, it's great. That's awesome.
If you get another monster in Doctor Who, you'll actually top Stephen Thorne, who has played 3 monsters in the classic series. So you're now on that list of Stephen Thorne, David Banks, and others who have played multiple monsters. You're now on that list, so I think your goal should be to kind of top that and play even more.
I love coming to Comic Cons because I find out about myself, what I'm doing. It's brilliant. It's awesome. Yeah, can't wait. Let's see what the path brings, right? Yeah. Well, you'll be the first to find out, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, you let us know, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll do smoke signals out my house in Wales. Look at him, he's gorgeous, isn't he? If anybody's watching through the camera, I haven't lost it as a little baby in front of me, and we're making funny sounds.
There he goes.
Hey, what are you doing? I love you. Your T-shirt says "Love me." I love you.
On Cold War, bringing the Ice Warrior back, was that suit waterproof, or did sometimes, because there's a lot of water on that set?
Yeah.
And I know they had a big challenge with the cables and everything. Was that a challenge for you too?
Well, the suit it was heavy. It was really like rubber. You know, it was heavy. But that's the effect, because it come across like it wasn't actually steel. You know what I mean? Some alien steel. It was hard rubber with an amazing paint job. But the mask had like red lenses, but there was lots of steam in the submarine. So as soon as I go past steam, blind straight away. It's steamed up. You know, literally. What. So he moved like this, but it was me trying to just find my way around. Really. No, it was all right. You know, it's weird playing a suit, but an alien as well inside the suit. So you be in the suit, but knowing there's an alien in there as well. Skaldak's in there, so it's a strange feeling.
Most of your work's been in science fiction and fantasy. Has there been any desire? First of all, do you enjoy that kind of genre? And has there been any desire to portray anything outside of that genre? Obviously, for what you do, science fiction and fantasy is kind of the key place to be. But have you ever had any desire to go outside of the science fiction or fantasy field?
I'd like, you know, I'm a heavy dyslexic, right? 10, 15 years ago, I couldn't read or write, for real. And what learnt me how to read and write, I'm just a slow developer, was getting scripts sent to me. I'd like to start doing a bit of stage work, you know, because that's real acting, you know what I mean? You can't go again on the stage. But I'm living the dream. Whatever I get to play, it's special, you know? And I know there's be a million actors out there who'd love to jump in my shoes and play these characters. But you know, I'd like to play. I'd like to play the Hulk as well. You know, so I like because I can climb buildings, I can catch planes, for real. You know what I mean? Not much CGI going on there, just colour me green. We're away.
I think I'd like to see as a Bond henchman.
Yeah, I think that'll be on the books one day. You know what I mean? This face, It's got to be, right?
Hey guys, this is Sean from Traveling the Vortex. Just want to throw out a thank you for everybody who watched this video. If you enjoyed it, first of all, please click like and subscribe. You can also find more about Spencer Wilding through our podcast, www.travelingthevortex.com. We did a separate interview with him for that. In addition to the normal forms of social media, such as Facebook and Twitter, you can also find us on Patreon. If you choose to donate, that money goes right back into this podcast, allows us to do more stuff like this. Thank you again, and we'll see you out there.